right, y'all, it's story time. So, Ricky and I have been having a couple issues in the apartment that we moved into, and so I was like, hey, I reached out to our realtor and I was like, these things are happening. What are we gonna do? He was like, you know what? I'm about to be back in town from the holiday. Don't worry about it. I got you. And listen, when I tell you he's top tier, he's top tier. So he went down like first thing this morning, talked to the management at the apartment, and he was like, hey, like there's things going on in this unit. You guys need to get it fixed. So he came, and two of the other managers, like the facilities manager and then like the building manager, they came to the apartment this morning. We were showing them the different things that was going on. One of the things that had been happening was there was like a little leak in the shower, and then they forgot to put in towel racks where we could hang our towels in the bathroom, and because it's a brand new unit. And so there was just these different things and some stuff with the washer dryer thing and just a couple of things. So he was like, yeah, we're making note of all the things. We're going to make sure this stuff gets fixed today. Like, you know, we're sorry for the inconvenience. And I was like, you know what? It's no problem. If y'all are committed to fixing this, I'm committed to, you know, being patient, working out things with you guys. I know it's a new building. And so sometimes there are a couple of hiccups that need to be navigated and worked through. It's no big deal. We're in this together. Y'all, less than like 30 minutes later, this is happening. In the apartment. I didn't even know this was happening. Like, I was in the other room because they had started doing some of the work in the bathroom, and I went into the other room and I was like editing or recording a video or whatever I was doing. And I was editing, and then I decided I wanted to do another video, and I was like, I want to do my makeup. Like, let me just walk over there and grab my makeup right fast, and I can be in and out. I know exactly where it is. I'll just grab it, go to another bathroom and do it. Yeah. When I walked in, I was like, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then I went to Ricky and I said, Ricky, there's water all over the floor. And he was in another room and he's like, what? And so he got up and he came and he saw the water. And Ricky is like a germaphobe / OCD / what is happening type of person whenever stuff is not in order. So he's just looking like, and so some of our stuff was like still out on the floor because we hadn't really finished unpacking because we were like, are we going to be able to stay here? Because if they're not working through this stuff, like this isn't going to work. We didn't want to take all of our stuff out of bags and then we're going to be moving. So anyways, there was stuff, my shoes were out, like, so thankfully, like, the balcony wraps around, so we're like going to the other side. Ricky's like hurrying up before the water's flowing on everything, trying to pull it from around the other side of the balcony to the other room in the living room. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, I was like, you know, we're here, but there's some challenges to overcome, and welcome to this hour's challenge. You know, but it's funny and it's cool because even like when the lady came, she came back up, the manager came back up because she had some workers that were doing the actual things that needed to be fixed that she made a list of. And I had sent our real estate agent, I had sent him a message and I was like, look at this. And he looked at it, he said, oh my God, this is just embarrassing at this point. Like, because they just literally came to say they're going to fix everything and this is what's happening. And the lady came back up, that was the supervisor, and she was like, oh my gosh, like who did this? And so like, cause it was like one simple, I guess you could say, thing they were supposed to be doing, but it turned unsimple real fast. And so she's like, who did this? And she's looking at me and I could tell like she's just so overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. There are already these issues they're supposed to be fixing. And she looks at me and I just started cracking up. I said, girl, at this point you just have to laugh. Like, the irony of this moment, that this is when stuff is supposed to be getting fixed and now the floor is flooding, like, this is funny to me. Like, it's funny to me. And so later on, so they were in here, they've been working for a while. And she told my husband, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you guys weren't like really angry and upset. And I was in my mind like, I mean, why would anybody take this out on her? It's not like she's grabbing buckets of water, throwing it on the floor, like intentionally trying to just wreck things. Like, things happen. Like, at the end of the day, things happen. And I honestly know they're doing their best. Like, they're doing their best to try to accommodate us. Again, it's a new building, so there are going to be some things that had to be worked through. And I was just understanding of that. My husband's understanding of that. We did have other plans for the day, but we had to adjust those, and that's fine too. And ultimately, I feel like the opportunity to just be kind to the supervisor, to the people that were working, even the person that made the hole in the wall, that punctured the pipe, that flooded the whole floor, like, to be kind to all of them, it cost us nothing. Like, ultimately, it's not like they were like, oh, sorry, and just left. They immediately went into trying to figure out how to fix it and remedy everything. And some stuff got wet, but not a ton of stuff. And it's just stuff. But people are human. They have feelings. You want to be kind. And I just thought it was cool because just yesterday I was reading a verse in Proverbs, and I was talking about the importance of being loyal and being kind to people, like how God expects that of us. And literally today, I got the opportunity to exercise what I was reading. And one, I'm glad God prepared me for this moment. And two, just it shows growth in me, because I feel like old school Crystal, they would have felt the wrath. But new school Crystal, growing up Crystal, was able to just, again, like, just really smile in the midst of the chaos that was happening. And honestly, because they are still having to fix the water situation, a lot of the other situations are still needing to be fixed. And so things are delayed, but at the end of the day, it's okay. Like, I feel, especially when you're dealing with people that work in the service industry or repair people or just anybody really in general, when you're dealing with people, but especially people that are in service industries or providing, things for people, like, give more grace. Like, things happen, accidents happen. Like, it was not malicious intent. And so, that was something I kept in the forefront of my mind. And I hope that as you guys may come into different experiences where things are happening that are super not going according to plan, you remember that things happen. Lead with kindness. Lead with kindness. I really feel like this whole situation could have escalated and gotten a lot worse if I was flipping out when the manager came along, when the supervisor came along. Like, it could have just made everything so much worse. But instead, she was able to smile during the situation. Like, the workers were able to smile during the situation. They're helping us pull out shoes from under the bed to try to keep them from getting more wet. Like, all of it, it just, sometimes your attitude, like, when you have a bad attitude in a bad situation, like, or a situation that's not ideal, a bad attitude just makes it worse. But a good attitude can make it all tolerable. And so, we out here. We out here doing the things, living the life. We out here. So yeah, just a little story time. And just a reminder, just because God said to go don't mean it's gonna be perfect when you get there. Because what's perfect? What is perfect? Y'all, story time.